Allah khair. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're doing great and doing wonderfully. In our lovely session tonight, we're trying to push as many sessions online as possible, especially during this time and during the weekend, because it has high traffic of number of viewers. Lots of people actually are busy all the week. By the end of the week, they need to watch something entertaining and interesting in English language. Maybe and probably they will learn something out of it. And that is the whole purpose of the session that we deliver to you tonight. Hopefully, that is going to give you some good chance to improve your English conversation and English language. Rule number one that we have, you do not need to be perfect English speaker. You can be a professional English speaker. And becoming a professional English speaker is very easy. It just needs to develop some sort of habit to watch and to practice for a period of time. But whenever you disconnect yourself from this beautiful language, you are not going to make any sort of progress. So if you can do little steps to improve your English, this 1% rule that I already talked about in previous videos is going to help you dramatically improve your English over the course of 3 months and 4 months and 5 months and 6 months. And that is very easy. Tonight we are going to address some of the common questions that you do have here. Mr. Ali is saying, what's the difference between Australian accent and British accent? Accent is a geographic difference between one nation that speaks a particular kind of words with different sounds to the word or different articulation, but they are both indicating the same meaning. So we're talking about the superficial aspect of language, and it's not heavily emphasized. Everybody speaks with an accent. No matter where you are born, you are speaking with an accent. Accent can be something positive and it can be something negative. In the Arab world, sadly, they emphasize accent so much, and that is not a good thing. Why? Because accent is not measured in standardized tests like TOEFL and IELTS and all official tests. They do not give any sort of attention to accent. They focus on grammatical range and accuracy. They focus on your cohesion and coherence of your conversation. They focus on the accuracy and fluency that you have. They focus on the lexical diversity or the number of vocabulary you say per minute, and whether this list of vocabulary is academic or non-academic. There are very rare cases and occasions where accent is emphasized. Why you see lots of books that talk about accents? It is because it's a commercial topic. It is like Chinese or Korean or any other manufacturer who wants to compete with standards in the society or standard industry, and they want to make money out of it. So if you see people talking about speak with an American accent or British accent, I personally don't recommend that. I recommend that you choose whatever kind of accent that you like, as long as you deliver the meaning and communicating efficiently, proficiently, and accurately, and fluently. There is another point that is misunderstood, that when a person speaks fluently, that means they're speaking fast. And speaking fluently does not include speaking accurately. So accuracy and fluency are not the same. First of all, you need to focus on both of them. Maybe there is some priority out there. Some people like to focus on fluency first because they want to sound faster. And some people like to focus on accuracy because they want to sound accurate, especially if they are communicating through emails or written communication. And this is not synchronous communication. In English, we have two types of communication. The first type is called synchronous communication, where you interact with people directly and instantly, and all the conversation happens at the spontaneity of the moment, and it does not happen delayed way. Maybe there's a delay if you're communicating via Viber or WhatsApp, and that is because of the internet delay. So there's some lagging going on. However, that is very rare occasion abroad. The other type of communication is something we call asynchronous, where you use your written skills to deliver a message to people, and they might not necessarily receive the message momentarily. Maybe they receive it tomorrow when they open their mail inbox or email inbox. The point that I want to deliver to you here is this. In both cases, people have priorities, but please, please, please do not put accent as your top priority. We know some people like to sound American or British or Australian, but these are nationalities that have independence and that have immigrants, and it's more socio-political issue. If you prefer to hear, and your ear prefers to hear the music of American accent or British accent, go with that. But remember that the accent should be sustainable. Like, go with heavy practice on accent, but you need to live in that society to get adjusted, to get acclimatized to the nature out there. There is something we call in linguistics acculturation, getting the culture of other people and understanding the way they communicate and the way they pragmatically send and receive messages, whether these messages are linguistic or extra linguistic. The point is you need to deliver understanding. You need to reach understanding level. And the difference that accent makes is not huge. If I'm saying I want some water, or I want some water, or I want some water, I mean, I've heard this word with tons of accents, and it still makes sense to me, and I still understand it. So it doesn't matter whether you're speaking it with a British or American accent. People like appearances, honestly, in our world. They like to have Lamborghinis, Mercedes, Maybachs, and this kind of fancy schmancy kind of cars, big houses, castles. But eventually, it's all about the content. It's not about the appearances. So don't get deceived by appearances. And accent is more about appearances. It's how much you sustainably talk to people, use different linguistic repertoire that you do have, and how much energy you do to put in understanding people and getting understood. The point of communication is to understand and to be understood. The point of communication is not to baffle people with how many vocabulary you know, but with how much sympathy you have for what they're saying. It's sometimes good to be a listener than a speaker, but when the point comes where there is a necessity of you to become a charismatic, self-confident type of person, it's always important to deliver something effectively. Sometimes it's easy to say something in a minute and let everybody in the audience understand you better than talking and jabbering for 15 to 20 minutes without having any one of them reach an understanding and consensus about what you're trying to say. So the point and the conclusion of the whole issue of the theory of communication and the theory of understanding is to let people understand you. um, there is another thing. Like, I remembered this verse from the Holy Quran, not just because I'm religious or something like that. I'm remembering this verse because it tells us lots of things, that we have created you as nations and tribes to get to know each other. So that's the point. Accents are good because they identify where you are from. I've lived in the United States for a few years, and I could hear people say, well, he speaks with a very beautiful British accent. They love British accent. But when you go to Britain, they love American accent. When you go to India, they love Middle Eastern accent. When you go to Middle East, they love American accent. Everything that is rare and unique um, is, is unique in and out of itself when it's used correctly. So accent, since it just became the point of our discussion of tonight, is not heavily emphasized in the standardized test, because in standardized test we measure what is valid, what is reliable, what is measurable, what's practical, and we don't think that accent has any kind of value. Accent and slang are not high valued items in English because they're floating, they are fluid. They do not have certain pattern like phonetics and phonology. They are not science in and out of themselves. They are phenomena, and we need to have a pattern to study. And linguistics, as you know, focuses more on the patterns. So the socio-political distribution of certain dialects and accents is a very controversial topic, and lots of people write dissertations on this kind of topic. And I don't think you need to relate. You just need to realize that accent is good. It comes by practice. And if you want to focus on British or American or Australian or Canadian or the hundreds of accents in the world, just go with that one, but just do it correctly. Don't try to be biased to certain accent over the others. They're all similar. They're all equal. There is no dominance or hegemony of one accent and one dialect over the other. Just because media presents it does not mean that it's a good, valid reason to justify that this is superior and that one is inferior. That's not the case. You said write it a comment, but didn't see them. Can you tell me how I use present? These are grammatical questions. However, if you have any other questions, I want this live broadcast to be short, to the point. So we talked about accents. We talked about the validity of accents since it just been brought up by you. And because we want to have short and we focus on the brevity of the topics that we present, if you're listening to me, you're practicing active listening. And this is a good way you can improve your accent, you improve your dialect, you improve the number of vocabulary. Grab a pencil or a pen and write down any words that you didn't understand or are not familiar to you, or ask me, what did you mean when you said this word? What's the meaning of this word? Ask questions, ask lots of questions. Be inquisitive, be knowledge seeker, be bookworm. These are things that will make you better, sound more interesting person when you talk to people in English language. And that is the point that I wanted to highlight here in this video, and I wanted you to emphasize. So thank you so much, and I look forward to see you in another podcast or video vlog that will address another linguistic phenomena. Looking forward to see you. Happy Thursday. Merry Christmas for our brothers and sisters around the world who are celebrating this all with us. Thank you so much for listening. Please share this video if you think it's good video. Please share any video of the channel that you think is good and valid. But remember something, that if you are listening to me, you're practicing active critical listening. And that is going to auto-tune your listening skills. That is going to make you a sharper listener. That will make you filtering more vocabulary and understanding the pattern of English. Become like Neo in Matrix movie, where he starts to see patterns of language, patterns of people, behavioral gestures. That is what is going to make you a better English learner. Thank you so much, and I look forward to see you in another video إن شاء الله. ربي يحفظكم. مدرب اللغة وليد خالد.